Okay. Like I said, I was going to state some names: Davy Chappelle, Master P, um, all of them. Look and see what they did to me. And I still have to get out here every day and make a living. After having 2 kidney transplants, and if you see that I'm breathing hard, I have lung disease, diabetes, I have a stomach blockage, um, there's some other things, and I'm not even going to deal with those things right now because I overcome those. I just fight through it and keep on trucking. My mother used to say, just keep on trucking. So, okay, in my book here, on page 121, in the chapter, it I read. I read here. I said, next, I faced the daunting task of getting her out of the car and into the house. I searched my mental catalog for creative ways to do so. I got it. Carefully, not to break a single item, I opened the plastic cover of the newly bought china set, pulling out the eating utensil. I selectively picked out the smallest fork and spoon. Then, with passion, I said, "Sweetie, dear." I pulled her hands away from her eyes once again to interject. "Come on, honey, you must listen to me." Mary fidgets in her seat, struggling to get words out. I can't. I can't do it. Ensuring I'd use, she said, "I can't do it." "You can do it. You're the little engine that could." I paused for a moment, ensuring I'd use the best words for this moment because it's so tenuous. Knowing if I selected the wrong words, this therapy could be all over and she wouldn't get her breakthrough. So, with floridity in my voice, I mentioned, "Take this spoon. It's forever yours." Mary didn't reach for it, but I sensed her desire to do so, yet she hesitated. Quickly, I intervened and reached for her belt, loosening it, while inserting the finger of the buckle into the hold of the top of the spoon. Heartfelt words slid off my tongue. "Look what I got for you, and look what I got for me." Once again, I pulled her hands away from her face, allowing her to observe my movements. I did the same with the fork and finger of my buckle. See when you get afraid, grab the spoon, for it represents me. And when I'm afraid, I'll grab the fork, for it represents you. These are our shields of protection. I directed. My tactic must have eased her fears, because she opened up by pointing at the chauffeur and said they needed to come with us. In a way, I felt Murray was accepting a piece of the torch. And passing the torch means she's giving up her selfish needs for the needs of others. Okay, that's the passage out of my book on page 121 and 122. Now let's watch this scene here where Michael is talking to Caleb. And if he does not speak in a certain tone, their breakthrough will not come through. So these things in copyright infringement are called like connectives and whatnot. It's just not them stealing your work. You have to prove these connective things. And these things are evident in this scene. And it's almost like you were taught was what plagiarism was and what plagiarism is, but then you have to reinvent and redefine the word for them to prove to them that they stole it from you. It's almost like you're so smart, you got to be dumb and then retrain to prove to the FBI and all of these organizations that they stole from me. And first of all, how did my name get changed at the Copyright Office? And they say it's a typo. These things are connective in death. Motive, intent, all of those things. So let's watch this scene.
I'm not going to tell her. If she wants to go ahead and file, that's up to her.
Divorce is a hard thing, man.
Well, if it brings peace.
But Caleb, you want the right kind of peace.
What do you mean by that?
You know that ring on your finger means?
It means I'm married.
Yeah, well, it also means you made a lifelong covenant. You putting on that ring while saying your vows. The sad part about it is, when most people promise for better or for worse, they really only mean for the better.
Catherine and I were in love when we got married. But today, we're two very different people. All right? It's just not working out anymore.
Caleb, salt and pepper are completely different. Their makeup is different, their taste and their color. But you always see them together. And when you... Hold on just a second.
He said, hold on a second. I got it. He's being creative.
What are you doing? Michael. Hey. What'd you do that for?
Caleb, when two people get married, it's for better or for worse. For richer or for poorer. In sickness and in health.
I know that. But marriages aren't fireproof. Sometimes you get burned.
Fireproof. Using it.
Fireproof doesn't mean that the fire will never come. But that when it comes, you'll be able to withstand it.
You didn't have to glue them together.
Don't do it, Caleb. If you pull them apart now, you'll break either one or both of them.
I am not a perfect person, but better than most. And if my marriage is failing, it is not all my fault.
But Caleb, man, I've seen you run into a burning building and save people you don't even know. But you're gonna let your own marriage just burn to the ground.
Michael, you are my friend. And I've allowed you to speak freely with me on this job. Don't abuse it.
If you don't speak right, you're not going to get this breakthrough. You see that? As you can see, when he glued the salt and pepper shaker together, that's me with the fork and spoon being put together on the finger of my belt buckle. That's putting us together in a covenant, and that's when they use the word fireproof, which meaning that's where they got their title from for the movie. So without that scene that they stole out of my book, they would not have a title for that movie. Case in point. Now, what else do I have to do? I have to be a rocket scientist to prove this? That's it right there. That's plagiarism and stolen straight from my novel. So, I'm going to pause the movie and I'm going to give you one more comparison when I come back. Yes, before I start this scene, I want you all to know that I do fear for my life. I am a black man, and they know once I am pursuing this to get what is mine. It's my intellectual properties. So I'm not scared that the fact that when they come at me with their lawyers that I can't prove that it's not mine. The thing is that the conniving and unjust and illegal practices like throwing a gun in my car or throwing some cocaine in my car while I'm driving or I end up dead. They watching me. They've hacked my email accounts. They're listening in on my phones. They know exactly what I'm doing right now. I've addressed the FBI. I haven't got an email back. The time process is just atrocious when it comes to dealing with this. And these people have made billions of dollars off of my novel. So if you're going to come get me, come get me. But my family knows. I've warned great friends of mine that what's going on. So it's what you all do to a lot of us anyway. So I'm going to show here that they're using the word alpha for this movie, and Sony is also connected with Salem Media. When I showed back in the very first scene, Sony is also connected with Salem Media. So Sony said, let me get my hands on it, aiding and abetting. Let me get my hands on a piece. So in this scene, I said right here, take wolves for instance. The alpha male and alpha female will never abandon the other, even when facing death. You're the spirit of the black widow spider. Our tribe lives on ancestral spirits, which is wisdom passed over generations. The spirit teaches the young of the tribe not to be a fish jumping out of water too close to the banks. So, here in this scene, this is the major scene where they got alpha, and they're going to show that Kiba is going to get thrown over the edge into the abyss, which abyss is on the next page, but I'm going to give you a little bit at a time, because the way that you have to prove this is connective. So the very connective that I'm going to show is that now I'm talking about wolves, alpha, and the young of the tribe getting thrown out of its environment and too close to the banks. So in this scene, the buffalo is going to hook onto Kiba, who is the very youngest member of the hunting party at this point, and he gets tossed over the edge. And this is the major scene. They work this scene from the beginning, but then they go back and come back up to this scene and work through the movie. So this is the major scene in which they got the title Alpha from. Stole it. must need to be clean. Hold on. Okay. Tells you you're not gonna get the greatest video graphics and technology. So he's tossing him over the edge, out of his environment, over the banks, and into the abyss. And then they're gonna go back to 1 week earlier. But that's the main scene. And that is where they stole that scene from, and they threw him into the abyss. And on the next page over, I said, thought, if you have hatred for any one ideal, throw it into the abyss. The abyss is undescribable and a lost place where lost ideas are cast away, nothing more or nothing less. Once thrown into the abyss, leave it there, it's lost. And that is Caleb's father, who is the chief, Cable's father, who is the chief. Once he gets thrown over the ledge onto an edge, he's going to be left there. And when you look over, and when the buffalo were falling over the edge, you could see it was an abyss. So that's two comparisons of connectives and straight plagiarizing out of my book. The title for Fireproof and the title for Alpha. Both are constituents of Salem Media Brothers, and today I have some other obligations to do amongst taking care of myself, the health, and taking care of my household. So I have to get on to those things. But I'm going to do a poem before I leave. And see, this is where they have the great poets out there, Common, and many others. And I don't even go to poetry spots anymore because my poetry is so deep to me that if they stole this and made 9 works out of it, out of my novel, then only poems that I can do on stage is those that are in the book, that are copywritten. I don't do any new poetry on stage. So I'm going to give you something here, and I hope you pass this, share this, because this is what's needed, realness. I'm real. So, yeah, watch this. I'm going to take my shirt off. I'm going to show you I had 2 kidney transplants. Stomach blockage. Oh, it's real. Them real tattoos right there. So, I had the first kidney transplant on this side, and the living one is on this side. And you can see all the swellage in here, which is coming from the stomach obstructions I've had over the year, over 100 of them. The NG tube has to go down my nose into my stomach to pump the stuff back out. But I keep living. I keep living. So I'm going to do this poem right here for you. It's copywritten. So if you want to steal it, go ahead and try. Things ain't always what they seem. Reality is what you see and hear, and that's good. And the things that I'll never see and hear possess the faith of my dreams, allowing my love to harbor my beliefs. Manifesting miracles, that's me. Planted firmly on this hill, that's me. And my branches overshadowing my roots, where my magnolia dreams are growing, that's belief. A coma, 3 strokes, 2 transplants, and adultery perpetrated upon me, and a smile altered because of brotherhood. No, I'm going to keep it real. My brothers had a beef. Brass knuckles, a bat, 2 more of his friends, and a pistol whipping which knocked out my tooth. Now that I'm older and wiser, I definitely don't fight anymore, so I turn the other cheek. Like an anchor to a ship, the devil holds me back. This is undoubtedly true. Yeah, look at the precious tattoo that God has sculpted on me. See a line down the middle, connected at its midpoint with 2 undersided wings, points to the very essence of selfishness which continues to shackle me. But no, that's just a representation of the dreams stunting the growth of magnolia dreams. The miracle's not in a tattoo. The miracle's in me. But if you forget my name, you can call me passionate, durable, and kind. Truly, I am the image of an anchor vivid in your mind. But the essence of loving God's Son tells me to never give up trying, illuminating the miracles in me, and reversing the tears of my cries. And if I never see or hear another thing, guess what I'll say? If I'm the miracle, you're the very reason I'm standing here on this stage. And if that ain't good enough, go ahead and pick up your overpriced cell phone. Call up one of your friends and say, hey, I saw the miracle standing before me. And with doubt in their voice, your friend is going to say, one tattoo? Well, damn, I got 3. Well, anyway, I am the miracle standing before you, rooted, manifesting the dreams of the magnolia tree. Observe what you see. Listen to what you say. And if I didn't introduce myself as a miracle, how else was I going to inspire the love of faith of your reality? Yeah. Before I go, let me introduce you to my little sweetie. She looks over me at night, my dreams. She's there for me, Nala. Ain't that right, cute girl? See ya.